understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, February 23rd, 2019. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sara, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And because the TV gods were merciful this week, we had 3 new episodes. And it's good that we only had 3 new episodes because, Ed, what have you spent your week doing?
Finishing up my Oscar challenge. I have now seen each and every film nominated for an Academy Award this year.
Like all of, like even the smaller there are no small parts, only small actors, but
yeah.
Like even the less high profile categories,
yeah,
all of them, sound mixing, all of them.
All the craft awards, all the foreign films, the documentaries, the shorts, the animated films, each and every one.
So do you just roll up to the movie theater and put down your money and say, I live here now?
Well, I will give a huge shout out to awardcircuit.com, who tracks, the likely nominees over the course of the year. They actually put out their initial predictions in March, and they like update them every week. So like as movies come out during the year, it's easier for me to like figure out what has a good chance and what doesn't. So like when the nominees had come out, I only had about like 13 movies left to watch, which was pretty cool.
Actually impressive.
Yes. And yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I do, I usually go to the movies at, usually like at least once a week. These are things you can achieve when you're single.
Or not a lazy homebound person, which, I mean, I'm not single, but I am a lazy homebound person. I mean, I could leave the house, but like, why? So have I ever reminisced about the time that I was a movie reviewer for the newspaper? Like I worked at a paper, I was a reporter. They paid me every week to go see movies. And leading up to Oscars, my boss, we had 2 movie reviewers. This was back in the wild days when newspapers still had money. And my boss said, listen, you need to see all these movies so we can do Oscar predictions. So get out of here, go see movies, submit your expense report.
Oh, wow.
That was the best time of my life. Hey guys, I'm not going to be in all week. I got to go watch movies.
Wow. Well, I that sounds like a lot of fun. Although I do know that some of those things can be a slog, and there are certain themes that you can suss out over the course of the time.
You're still traumatized, aren't you?
Yes. Well,
what was the hardest category?
A live action short, which was the last one I saw. I saw Thursday night. That was when I finished everything. With like 4 days to spare before the ceremony, and oh my god, because here's the thing with live action shorts, and over the last like decade, this is the theme I've noticed. They usually, and this week it was true, all of them either involve really young little kids like between the ages of like 8 and 12, or like elderly women on the brink of death.
No, that sounds really fun.
Yeah. And all of these stories were either kids killing each other, or or getting lost in accidents and getting killed, or getting abducted, or one guy accidentally kills his dad because he thinks he's a black guy.
What? Oh,
Yes, and the one about the old woman who makes friends with her visiting nurse, and then through interacting with the visiting nurse, discovers that she was probably a lesbian, and then she goes to sleep, and we don't know if she's gonna wake up the next morning. It's sad.
oh my God.
But that was probably the most uplifting of the 5. So yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I completed my Oscar prep by finally seeing A Star Is Born.
Oh, there we
Yay!
go. There we go.
Lady Gaga's so great.
Yes. That's good.
And more importantly, I finalized my menu for the Oscar party I'm going to, and that would be Rami Malek, Olivia Coleslaw, ramen coleslaw. I'm sorry, ramen Malek.
Olivia Coleslaw. Wait, what's Rami Malek?
Ramen Malek.
Oh, ramen Malek.
Coleslaw. So it's like ramen. It's like ramen coleslaw. Ramen. It's
okay. Those things don't sound like they go together.
They do. I'll share my recipe, and we're having Emma Stone cold sours in free solo cups, so it should be a good time.
There we go.
And we're talking about this in a podcast that's going to drop like hours before the ceremony.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's going to be old news in 48 hours.
Yes. I of course have no friends who want to join me for an Oscar party, so I'm I think I've convinced my parents that we'll probably get like cheese and crackers and
Do you have like the red string board and the stats, and do you update continually odds and things?
Yeah.
I feel like you'd just be a human mentat.
Yeah. I have my laptop with my spreadsheets. I do usually print out a paper ballot, and yeah. Well, that was the horrible thing that happened is that 2 years ago when they announced that La La Land was the best picture, and they didn't change their decision that it was Moonlight until after I'd already highlighted La La Land as the winner, and you can't erase highlighter. It's
Oh no.
So that was distressing. But so yeah. So that was the Oscars. But I did also find time to watch DC TV this week.
Well, and like I said, they gave us a break this week because they knew we'd be busy, which
Yes.
I appreciated.
Yes, and evidently that they're gonna give us recovery time too. Because I think next week there's only 2 episodes. I think it's just Gotham and Doom Patrol. But yeah. So that's what's going down with me. Hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. So yeah, do you want to get into the episodes?
I think we absolutely should.
All right. So first up is Supergirl, season 4, episode 12, Menagerie. A case John and Kara were working was connected to a DEO investigation tracking a symbiotic alien who stole jewelry and ate human hearts. Alex got more and more frustrated that her job was hurting her social life. Brainy had an awkward time trying to ask out Nia and offered to train her at the same time. Ben Lockwood asked his son George to monitor the news and keep the Children of Liberty active while Ben was in prison. Lena's relationship with James came to a crossroads after she was offered a government contract. Last minute reveal, Pamela sat in her prison cell opening a letter from Manchester Black as Menagerie slithered up her neck.
I did not realize what a busy episode this was until you just hit all those plot points.
Oh my God.
What happened?
Yeah. I used all 6 markers. It was...
And as we've just established, you can't erase that. So,
No.
Okay, first things first. Dreamer. Holy cow. She looked freaking incredible.
Yes. Yeah, we got to see Dreamer in action. Finally, she suited up. I like the mask. I like everything. Yeah, that was cool. It is a little weird because I'm not exactly sure like what her power set is. I mean, we know that she has the dreams, But like, if she's gonna go out and save stuff, is she kind of like vigilante, where like she doesn't really have any super strength or anything, or but you know, she's very brave to go out there, and she definitely saved Kara's butt.
I had that thought too, that if she is just somebody who dreams, for her to put on a suit and go bash people on the head, I don't feel like I'm personally equipped for that task. You know, just as here's a costume, I'm going to go kosh people now. That doesn't seem. So maybe they'll explain it a little bit more, but she looked amazing. Great suit, great in action. I honestly didn't expect it. I didn't know when we'd actually see her. And so that was a surprise reveal for me. I enjoyed it highly, highly.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed Brainy trying to sweet talk her by shoving her party decorations onto the floor so he could place his stuff down on the countertop. It was great. Yeah, they're hitting all the right notes with him this season, don't you think?
Yes, yeah, they are. And he really needed help. He really just like yeah, and I think that's the problem is that you know, he works around a bunch of nerds, and so they're not really able to
get good social cues and anything like that from his surroundings.
No. There's no Lieutenant Commander Lamar going around trying to teach you. Now this is what you do on a first date. No. I thought that was a lot of fun, and but there's so much relationship stuff going on here too.
Is it time for Lena and James?
No, let's not get to them just yet. Let's talk about Alex first.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it's one of those things, like, we haven't talked about her dating life at all this season. So all of a sudden for them to kind of just bring it up out of the blue seems really kind of awkward. Like, oh yeah, I have a dating life, and somehow that's Kara's fault, even though this was happening way before the mind wipe.
Oh, that's funny. I had a really different reaction to it, which was, this actually makes sense that Alex puts things on hold to work for the DEO and to make sure Kara's safe and her secret is safe and this and that. And so with that memory gone, she probably would be like, why am I not making time to date? Why have I not moved forward this adoption application? Because she forgot how much time she put into working with and for Supergirl. It really made sense to me. It really tracked. That's interesting, though, that you felt like it was a little shoehorned in.
Yeah. Okay. I just well, also just because it was such a big part of last season with her and Maggie.
Yeah. And maybe that's how they're retconning dropping that particular plot point. They're like, oh yeah, we kind of didn't do anything with that. Oh, she got busy with Kara.
Yeah. It's just, I thought it was weird for Kara to blame herself for that whole situation.
Yeah, I do think she gave up really easily. Well, I guess I can't spend time with my sister. Well, no. Oh. Yeah, but she. And in terms of Kara having to hide her superpowers, it wasn't nearly as fun as that episode with Lena and Miss Tessmacher, when Kara had to be Supergirl without them knowing. That was great fun this season, and this one was a little less. Got to hide this from Alex while keeping Alex safe, but they still had some of those fun moments, like, oh, look at this hidden panel that I just stumbled across.
Yes.
Oopsie.
Yes. And we got to meet Menagerie. I thought it was a really cool idea for a villain.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought the actress was great. I thought that her jewel thief character was a lot of fun, and then to pair that with the symbiote. Also, she must be really successful at stealing jewels, because that was a nice place she had.
Yeah. I mean, it's also kind of like, middle class problems. Like, who keeps jewels around anymore?
I'm sorry. Have you not seen my jewel closet?
No, I haven't. But yeah,
that is kind of funny. Well, I guess, National City is West Coast, so you think about if you've got a Hollywood LA type connection, maybe you've got more diamonds laying around.
Yeah, but she's
listeners, tell us, where do you keep your jewels?
Yeah,
are they in full view?
Yeah, send us pictures.
Tweet us.
Send us pictures.
And your work schedule so we know when you're not home.
Yeah, yeah. And if you could give me like, just like longitude, latitude, just give me those coordinates, we'll but yeah, no, that was, I thought that she was a lot of fun. I did like that at a certain point you thought that she was being trapped and controlled, but you realize like, no, I really like this because I'm a lot more powerful. And you realize that she was playing along with Menagerie, and it wasn't, she wasn't being coerced into anything.
And that's why I was so excited that she is going to be back. The next episode is going to feature her, it looks like. So I'm glad she's not a one and done, because she was just confident and evil and owning it, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm. All right, now comes the hard part. Lena and James.
Rest in peace. Terrible relationship that never should have happened.
Yeah. And this was the most ham-fisted, awkward. This made no sense.
Wait, are we talking about the breakup or the relationship or the fight or the chemistry?
Just
the answer is all of it.
Yeah, everything that happened between them in this episode, from a narrative perspective, makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, expand on that.
Well, one, like, she gets the offer, for government funding. It's like, you're a research company. Isn't this like all you do is look for government contracts? And if she was looking to use this to help people, like, wasn't government regulations going to have to get involved eventually? And also, like, where does James get off telling her that this is, not ethical or wrong? Like, I don't understand what high horse he's sitting on. Like,
James, Mr. Vigilante, Mr. Gotta go undercover with the Children of Liberty to,
yeah, like, just his objections to this made absolutely no sense to me. Like,
well, I think his objection was they're going to weaponize it, right? I'm not comfortable with you giving this to the military. I mean, if you think about it, if somebody actually does have the ability to turn people into super soldiers or give them powers or what have you, I'm not 100% sure I'd be super cool with the government and specifically the military. What's the decision-making process? Who gets to decide? There are ethical issues there, but you can't cram that in to 4 minutes of plot and have it make any sense. I actually think he had kind of a good point, but I'm also with you. She's a researcher. She gets contracts. He knew what she was doing. He had to know that it was headed toward that. So I just don't want him to turn Lena fully evil. I don't want that.
Yeah. Well, I think to me, this was just like this was really just the writers saying, okay, we've got to get James out of the way and put Lena on a road to asking Lex for help. Like, that's just...
Okay, and that's fine. That's great. James out of the way, if this is how they had to do it, God bless. I'm all about it. That was never a good relationship. I love that Lena's driver barely slowed the car to a rolling stop before they kicked James out. They basically just kind of kicked him out on the curb, and it kept on going, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah. And it's also just like, I mean, at this point, I'm confused as to why that character is still on the show.
I hate to say it, but
yeah. Like, I feel like it. Like, at this point, I feel like he outlived his usefulness in season 1. Like, I just, they've tried to do things to bring his story up, but nothing's really seemed to stick. And
you kind of have to admit defeat at some point, don't you?
Yeah.
That the character or the actor or the chemistry or the role he plays on the show, something is not clicking, and they've tried, but whew.
Yeah, but he probably signed a 5-year contract, so
and good for him. Get that money.
Yeah.
Get that bread. But yeah, so Lawson is over.
Yeah.
May that ship sail into the night and not return.
Yeah. And and Ben Lockwood is bringing his son into the horrible things he does.
Well, the family business. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Anyone needs a confusion, go see the Oscar-nominated live-action short Skin.
No, he just told us how depressing they all were. We're not going to fall for that.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
What happens in Skin?
I see some corollaries. I see some. It feels like it's going down the same road. He's going to end up shooting his father in the back because he thinks he's a black guy.
Is this the most recent one that you saw? Because it feels like this has really stuck with you.
I saw them all in one sitting. I saw them last Thursday, so 2 days ago. But yeah. So that's so that's Supergirl for this week. Any news from Supergirl?
Not so much. It's off this week because of the Oscars, and I guess all the CW shows are off. So we will return to Supergirl in another week hence.
All right. Moving on to Gotham. Season 5, Episode 7, Legend of the Dark Knight, Ace Chemicals. Jim asked Lee for help solving a murder involving violently toxic fireworks. Babs asked Lee to be her obstetrician. Jim lured Bruce into a trap that made Bruce relive the day his parents died. Selina and Oswald were struggling for ideas on how to leave Gotham safely. Last minute reveal, Barbara couldn't bring herself to kill Oswald and agreed to give him and Ed time to build a submarine to escape Gotham.
Oh, this show. So this was, I don't know which I enjoyed more, the Babs, Ed, Oswald triangle of evil or the Babs, Jim, Lee triangle of we all hate each other, but we all had sex. Both a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now this is one thing that sounds outrageous at the front, but it does make sense. Like, yeah, Lee should not go back to being a doctor like just so fast, but she is in the middle of an abandoned war zone, so you kind of go with it.
And it sounds like she's the best doctor they have. So, if that's the case,
yeah,
the woman who just woke up from a coma with a chip in her head is your best option. Mm-hmm. Good luck, Gotham.
Yeah, and remember when she first came on the show as a medical examiner, and all of a sudden she's the
oh my god!
All of a sudden now she's the best OB in the city.
Was this the same show? That doesn't even feel like the same show, does it?
I know, right?
I mean, that just feels like a whole different.
It's because Gotham is so bonkers. It is so all over the place.
I mean, it is talking about escape submarines, so yeah.
and also, those two idiots. I love.
You're gonna have to be way more specific.
Ed and Oswald. I love they're already celebrating. Oh, we got this figured out. This is fine. So where's the submarine? We just gotta build it. Because we could. I mean, there's enough scrap metal lying around. We could just build this. Yeah. I know how to weld.
I think my favorite parts of this show are when Ed and Oswald are bouncing off each other like that. No, I'm serious. I love that. I love those two actors together. I love the dynamic. I love the characters.
Yes,
all of it.
Yeah. Oh no, everything about them is great. And also the like to me, one of the greatest moments in the history of this show was when they promised each other that if one of them kills the other, they will do it to their face.
And that's friendship. That's just friendship.
Yes, that is friendship. Yeah,
it's respect.
Yes, yeah. that is love. But yeah. So yeah. All that was going on. First off, Lee and Jim are kissing at the end of this episode. Do you think they're moving too fast?
Yes. That really upset me for some reason. I feel a little sensitive toward Babs. Like, I know that was just a hookup thing, but be a little sensitive. I guess I don't know. I'm trying to. We left Lee kind of with Ed at the end of last season, didn't we? Sort of, but they stabbed each other.
Yeah.
So now she's with Jim, but Jim and Babs. But I'm telling you, this hate love triangle thing, I'm all about it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. All of a sudden I feel like I'm watching Party of Five. Is that an odd thing to say?
It was the last thing I expected to come out of your mouth. Because Jennifer Love Hewitt's acting choices remind you of
I don't know.
Ben McKenzie's work as
Yeah. And it's also like this show's been on for 5 years and somehow it's gone through the cycle so that everyone has had sex with everybody else. So
yeah, actually.
It's just like all of a sudden there's this thick awkwardness floating through the air. And it's and it's also like we have to deal with chemical warfare and the federal government refusing to provide aid and trying to feed everybody. Like there's oh my god, this is a mess. This is a mess.
And I love it.
Selena bounced back and forth where it's like, okay, I'm setting up Oswald so I can double cross him, and then all of a sudden she immediately turned on a dime because she realized she had to save Bruce's life.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just I feel like she probably needs to sit down. She's been through a whirlwind.
Do you feel like she needs you? Do you want to put her wrap an Afghan around her shoulders and put her on a comfy couch and bring her some tea and just tell her to kick her feet up and take a little bit of time.
Yeah,
some Selena time.
Yeah, maybe
scrub off the evil eyeliner. Just like
what? Let me take those gloves. Let me just take those gloves.
Let's just ease those right off your pretty little fingers. We'll just put those on a real high shelf.
I'm going to put them right here. You could see them.
I'm not taking them away. I'm going to leave them right here.
Yeah. She needs some rest, and Bruce really needs to go to sleep because they established at the beginning of the episode he's been up like 72 hours straight. And then he walks into a fever dream. Like at a certain point when he walks in and sees his parents and Alfred and Wayne Manor, I really thought that he was hallucinating. I thought this was
just from fatigue.
Yeah. I just thought, he was punch drunk and things were getting to him.
So same thing. Okay, Bruce, here's a blanket. It's black. You're doing all black these days. We see that. The blanket is black. Wrap it around yourself. Have a little seat. Take a little nap.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I wasn't sure what we were seeing at first with that flashback. And it did look like a dream sequence or something. And it just kind of got weirder. I have questions though.
Okay.
If Gotham is the war zone that it is, how do we have multiple reprints of the newspaper front page after Bruce's parents were murdered? Who has a printing press?
Jeremiah.
I guess the resources they have and don't have in Gotham never fails to confuse and amaze. Well, and also, I love that paper did not have a year on it very intentionally. I really loved the here's the month of the day, but we're not giving you a year. Gotham knows.
Well, I mean, he found. You look at everything that he put together. He found, he found a printing press. I guess the Gotham Gazette was abandoned, so he found a printing press to reprint those newspapers. He found Ace Chemical and restarted that. He found a silent movie camera from the 1920s.
He made a Douglas Fairbanks movie in war-torn cutoff Gotham.
Yeah, and was somehow able to sync sound to it.
Maybe he's kidnapped a cinematographer. Yeah. There's somebody parachuted in to make a documentary about this situation, and he was like, "Oh, good, you can help me. I want to recreate a silent film."
I mean, to be fair, I always imagined that he went to see the Tyrone Power version of Mark of Zorro, from the 40s. But thinking back on it, no, it probably would have made more sense if it was Douglas Fairbanks. But so that was weird. That was but all that was like, oh, this is the Joker, and I'm glad that Jeremiah has finally fallen into that vat, and we could legitimately say now, okay, so he's going to be the Joker. Like,
that was an exciting moment in the episode.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. I thought I'm glad. Okay, we're finally here, and we could move on and not try to pretend he's not the Joker anymore.
Yeah, not wink, wink. Oh no, I mean, isn't the Joker really all of us at heart? No, he went in the acid. Ooh, we can't forget also Ed knowing Babs was pregnant. Well, she's glowing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not what we were talking about, but I needed to sneak that in there.
Yes. All right. So yeah. This episode is insanity, and yeah, and there's 5 left.
Oof.
And
Well, and at some point they're going to bring the cutoff Gotham to an end, right? Or is it going to last through the whole season? I was thinking they were adapting this and then a different one, and I kind of thought the cutoff part would conclude and we'd move on to the next thing. But I'm wondering now if that's not going to.
Yeah, I think, and this is just speculation. I'm guessing maybe like by episode 10 they'll have cleaned this up, and then like 11 and 12 will be the big 10-year time jump. But
okay,
but I don't know that for sure.
That makes sense. Looking at the time jump episodes and then the episodes we have left in between, then it doesn't make sense that they would wrap up Gotham is disconnected from the rest of the world and then have a new arc and then have the time jump. So you're right; it probably is going to conclude and then we'll jump ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm all about it. Bring it on, show.
Yeah,
bring it on.
Yeah. Let's bring it. All right. Do we have any news for Gotham?
Well, okay. Yes, sort of, kind of. This is sketchy, but HeroicHollywood.com has a couple of reports. There is a leak that was on Reddit that then got tweeted of some shots of the final version of the Joker that we're going to get following the acid bath. And it's a different looking Joker than we've kind of seen in recent, TV movie incarnations. And Heroic Hollywood points out that it looks a little bit too like the Earth 2 Joker from the JLA comics. An older Joker, a little balder. I don't know, Ed. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that was like, a couple of issues from like 10 years ago where you saw an older version of the Joker where he's like balding, and then he's got an he's on an oxygen tank. Yeah, I thought it looked cool. It looks like Cameron Monaghan. I'm just a little confused as to who the source is. So,
I mean, it looked like really blurry, weird angle leaked footage. So I'm not sure. Is it Photoshop? Is it set footage that it wasn't supposed to get out there? I mean, clearly it wasn't supposed to get out there, but
yeah. Or it could just, I mean, you saw like, he put himself in a black and white movie. So, you don't know what kind of weird kind of, and he's always done like weird stuff with, putting out press releases or making little videos and broadcasting them on TV. So it might be something from that. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I guess only time will tell if it's really true.
And as you just pointed out, we don't have that many episodes left, so yeah, we should see that sooner rather than later.
Yeah. All right.
And that's what I got on Gotham.
All right. Moving on to our last episode for this podcast, which is Doom Patrol, Season 1, Episode 2, Donkey Patrol. Cyborg Vic Stone came to Cloverton to help discover what happened to the chief. The donkey spit out Crazy Jane, and Cliff tried to figure out a way to help her. Larry tried to leave town, but the cosmic negative man inside him wouldn't allow it. After it was discovered that the donkey's mouth was a door to another dimension, Rita reluctantly decided to squeeze inside looking for the chief. Last minute reveal, Jane painted a canvas of Vic holding his father in his arms, with bodies of the Doom Patrol strewn about.
Okay. I watched this last night after we had guests over for dinner and the guests brought bourbon. So I had some bourbon last night, but did the cast travel inside a donkey and then get vomited out of the donkey and then the donkey exploded and the town came back?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw that. That was episode 2 of Doom Patrol.
Yes, the entire town shot out of his mouth and reconstituted itself. Like, not just like, debris, bodies everywhere. No. Everything, all of the bodies, all of the buildings, suddenly, looked as if they had never been touched before. Like, everything was completely back to the way it was. And
So it wasn't the bourbon.
No.
That really happened.
I mean, we were just joking about how Gotham's bonkers. I mean, this show
just went for it in the second episode. Like, they didn't even ease us in. They were just like, nope, get in the donkey.
I feel like I want to make t-shirts now that say the donkey is a door.
I want to get t-shirts now that say bag of ham, because Alan Tudyk's narration, I think it was Alan Tudyk's narration, calling Cliff a bag of ham is going to be my new go-to insult, because that's good. That's real good.
Yeah. It was great. It's funny how, like, he's also self-referential and, knows that no one else, like, I'm also wondering, like, what does the chief know about this? Because he gives that whole thing talking about who's listening, people who still have subscriptions to comic books, Grant Morrison fans, and the 3 people who decided to hang around for the second episode. and then the chief just looks at him straight and goes, "You still think you're in control of this story?" And I was like, oh, weird. So I'm wondering, like, what does the chief know in terms of, like, does he know he's in a TV show, or like, how self-aware is he? Just as self-aware as Negative Man is. It's
this is interesting, I guess.
I'm sorry, Mr. Nobody.
When you have self-aware narrators, like Jane the Virgin has a fantastic self-aware, self-referential narrator, but he is not a character in the show. So if you have a self-aware, fourth wall breaking narrator who is a character in the show interacting with the other characters, I can't think of another. I mean, Deadpool, obviously, but it just, to me, it changes the stakes a little bit, because if the narrator is saying, "I know you're watching, I know this is ridiculous," and then has dialogue with people on the screen, it changes how you work your brain around that story, does it not?
Yes. Yeah, I think it does.
And maybe that's also why the chief has to be disappeared for a while, because he might have answers, and if he's there, they would ask him for answers, so we have to make sure he stays in the donkey.
Yeah, I do notice that in the credits, Timothy Dalton is credited as special appearance by. So I'm wondering. At first, I thought that meant like maybe they were going to kill him off in the pilot, but maybe he's not in every episode. I don't know. Or maybe that was just some weird thing his agent worked out. We don't know. But it's always fun to speculate. We got to meet Cyborg. What do you think of Vic Stone?
Okay, so my one true cyborg is the cyborg from Teen Titans Go.
Okay.
So any cyborg who isn't that cyborg is a little confusing, but I liked him. I thought he brought kind of a groundedness, as much as you can, with somebody who is part human, part machine.
Yes.
I am really interested in his dad acting like an agent, wanting him to get big. We got to keep doing these high profile things. And I just thought that motivation from his dad was really interesting, and to use the dead mom to spur that on, that dynamic I would like to see more of, because it doesn't seem particularly healthy.
Yes. Yeah. But it's already a much better. Like those two are already much more developed characters than they were in the Justice League movie.
I mean, that kind of goes without saying, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting motivations. Kind of with the research and like, okay, we think we can get him to the Justice League in 5 years. I thought that was really interesting. Also, like Silas Stone, that actor Phil Morris. I was trying to figure out who he was, and then there was a point when he and Vic were arguing in the living room, and all of a sudden it just his speech patterns, I figured out, oh my god, that's Jackie Childs. Who told you to put the bomb on? Did I tell you to put the bomb on? Why would you ever put a bomb on? You don't ever use the bomb.
That's where I didn't IMDb him, but I knew it was something. Thank you. Thank you.
So it's nice to see him working, and I think he does a great job.
It's nice to see him working. That bag of ham. See, it works. I enjoyed the casual references to Argus, and he had a Star Labs coat on. I sort of like the way they're folding in, and I don't know, maybe it's always been happening all along, and I'm just now noticing because I'm so immersed in DC lore at this point because of you, Edward, because of our podcast.
Yes,
but I really enjoy the pulling in all these different references and things.
Yeah. The Flash isn't as fast as you think.
So this show really has pleasantly surprised me with, number one, continuing the excellent Alan Tudyk narration. We were kind of worried it might be a 1-episode thing for the pilot, but that's continuing. Number two, we are getting to see Brendan Fraser and Matt Bomer. I was also worried that they would always be behind their masks and that we wouldn't get to see the actors, but we are getting pleasing amounts of both, and we get Matt Bomer smiling really big. Like, literally, give me a big Matt Bomer smile once a week and I will watch your show until the heat death of the universe. So I'm excited about that they're not just body doubles and disembodied voices.
Yes, yeah, and I'm kind of, at first I was kind of wondering if we're going to get less and less of them, but but I think they're there for now, and I think and also they're great voice actors.
Although I have a question: is Brendan Fraser recording into a tin can? Because it sounds like he's coming through metal. So what are they doing in the recording studio? I'm just picturing him wrapping his lips around like an empty soup can. So it comes out.
Yeah. There's Foley work. I also was thinking, is Matt Bomer actually talking through a towel? Because there is kind of like a muffled effect on his voice too, so it does sound like he's in those raps.
It's care and attention to the details. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I will say a couple of tweets that we had for Doom Patrol at Deke273. I will 100% agree with Sara and Ed that Alan Tudyk is a horribly underrated and underutilized villain. He may be the sole reason for me to get DC Universe.
I could understand somebody who was holding off when it was just Titans, but at this point, this is such a strong start to this show. I think I like the look of this. They go out in the sunshine in a way that the Titans cast did not. So I'm enjoying the different visuals there, and I'm guessing you layer on the swamp thing that's coming up, and everything about Stargirl is sounding really promising. It just seems like it's worth the investment. At this point, I think if you're on the fence, it just seems like a worthy way to throw some money around.
Yes,
like the big spender you are.
However, at Bowerfett points out, get it, but you can't unsee redneck Brendan Fraser. It's as if 1,000 mummies were silent.
Time comes for us all. Yeah.
But like, it does make sense for that character. I mean, being a race car driver, those guys need to be fit, but it's also kind of, you could see with the lifestyle where he has, where he's just doing absolutely nothing but drinking beer and cheating on his wife, that that how that beer belly would develop.
Yeah, you gotta, it's not that hard to chase the nanny. She's right there. It doesn't require a lot of cardio, like walking between the guest house and your house. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, two quick things. I thought Cyborg having the ability to project kitten videos from his arm is really handy. I'd use that a lot.
Yes.
And Rita, for me, had the line of the night when she tells, actually, I can't remember who she was talking to, but we're the ones who don't do anything. And I thought that was funny. Like, she just acknowledges it. Like, we don't.
She said that to Negative Man when she said that, yeah, to Larry when they were both, decided no, we're staying behind. We're when they didn't want to go out and help.
But I just thought that was such a great, terrible, wonderful life motto. No, I don't do anything. All right.
Yeah, and everyone kind of leaves here, on kind of like a sad note. Like the chief is still gone. Rita, she had that whole experience. I'm wondering like what was up with that baby stroller.
Oh yeah, I'm real worried about how that's going to play out. Genuinely.
Yeah, and like I'm really glad that like Vic was trying to boost her confidence and telling her that she did a good job. Like I feel like she needs that encouragement.
Yeah.
And we got to see Larry unwrap. He's kind of in that chamber, that like it's not a hyperbaric chamber, but it's basically he has to seal himself in. Yeah, he seals himself off in this room, and you realize that like the negative being inside him, he can communicate with it.
It's a little Caitlin and Killer Frost in that you leave the notes around for your alter ego, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so much going on with this show. I think my parents are going to start watching it because I showed them the pilot and my mother was intrigued. She likes Timothy Dalton.
Good taste. That's good taste.
Yes.
I'm trying to picture a universe in which my mom watches a show where somebody sticks their eyeball inside a donkey, and I just don't think this is a universe that exists.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they'll watch the second episode and be turned off. Did it have to explode?
He was so cute, that donkey, or she. I don't know. I respect its privacy.
The donkey is a door. Just that idea, that right there. That's everything I love about this show. All right. Any news for Doom Patrol?
Nope.
All right. Did you have anything more to say about the episode?
No, this was weird. Bring on episode 3.
All right. So let's move on to news for other shows.
Okay, not a lot of news this week, but we will start off with Arrow. Just a couple of updates about upcoming episodes. March 11th episode Training Day has Team Arrow actually working with the SCPD, and that leads to quite a bit of tension. I'm curious who actually is Team Arrow at this point. I mean, seriously, who's still on Oliver's team? I don't know. But that feels, they have set this up well if this is what's going to happen, because we've seen the cops complaining about working with Oliver. So that will be interesting. And then the April 1st episode is the Lost Canary episode we mentioned before with the Birds of Prey. And officially, Sarah Lance is coming back as a guest star for that episode. So we will see. Katie Lotz is the first Black Canary the show gave us.
Yes, I am excited for that. We did get some tweets about Arrow this week that were a little down. Sarah, your friend at Tanya Mel, tweeted, "I have officially broken up with Arrow and their shitty flash forwards." She asks us to let her know if she needs to come back. See you at the crossover event. Crappy secondary characters, bizarro world to Diggle, terrible old age makeup, and somehow still alive Diaz.
I mean, yeah. At
August Benassi piles on. Yeah, since I've been there since the beginning, and I really like Amel's iteration of GA. I'm holding on, but this season is getting rough due to primarily those flash forwards.
Yes to all of those things, my wise friends. I mean, we'll Ed and I'll stick with it, but I share a lot of that frustration. Yeah.
I mean, you don't know. I mean, yeah, I think, they change timelines all the time on this show. Oh no, that's The Flash.
Well, and yet, Diggle used to have a daughter and now he has a son. It is not unprecedented. I thought there were interviews with the showrunners at the top of the season saying this is a set future. We're not going to change this future. And again, and I've said this week after week, if this is the future they're fighting for, oh, that's grim. And I don't want to watch current struggles if it leads in the future to the Olicity child not knowing her stepbrother and, the wreck and ruin of everything around them. Oh, it's just... I never thought I'd miss the flashbacks. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I didn't mean to be so negative, and yet, no, I agree.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
we'll see. Yeah, and there are more episodes left. We will see where they take us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay optimistic.
You're usually the glass half full guy on this show, so thank you for playing your part.
All right, what's up next?
Batwoman
music.
A little bit casting for Batwoman. Doug Ray Scott has been cast as Jacob Kane, that is Kate's father. And officially, the handsome, slightly older men of movies of my youth have now become the dads.
Now,
so
Doug Ray...
he was the prince in Ever After, and now he's the dad.
Oh, no. Well, first off, you're forgetting his unforgettable turn as the bad guy in Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, no, I'm not forgetting that. That was a bad movie.
And
well, didn't that keep him?
I was going to say
the same lore.
that he is really the only thing I think he will ever be remembered for is that movie kept him so long so that he will be forever known for the part he didn't play as the man who almost was Wolverine in X-Men.
John Woo really tanked his career. In a lot of ways.
Yes.
But in my heart, he is always the prince in Ever After, for the record.
I just hope Hugh Jackman sent him a fruit basket.
That would just be... I hope he sends it every year at the anniversary of the start of the filming date, just to really twist the knife. Counterpoint, I hope Doug Ray Scott sends Hugh Jackman like a dozen donuts at the start of the anniversary of the filming date, because, I mean, poor Hugh Jackman has had nothing but like lean chicken patties for 20 years.
Well, evidently that's the funny thing is, like, he trained so much for that one scene. Evidently his last day of shooting for each one of those movies, he always has just a pile of ice cream and donuts waiting for him. So he can binge immediately following he finished.
He suffers for us, and we applaud his efforts on our behalf. And I'm sorry, I'm not done with Batwoman. We got carried away with that. There's a slight shakeup of the director on the pilot. It's not going to be David Nutter. Marcus Siego is going to step in. Got a history of television and movie directing, so this is not. I mean, I know you were excited about David Nutter coming on board, but Siego has a good track record as well.
Yeah, a little disappointed, but Nutter is still going to be an executive producer on the show, so.
And I bet they get him for episodes in the future.
Oh,
so
sure. Most assuredly. All right.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up and last up for news, we have Stargirl.
Stargirl music.
And we start with Amy Smart has been cast as Courtney's mom, Barbara Whitmore. And officially, the teenage stars of my youth are now the moms. I am old.
Yes, Amy Smart.
But that'll be good. Amy Smart, I mean, she's funny. She's kind of got a smart blonde presence, and that feels that. What I know of this show and this property, that feels like a good choice to have produced Stargirl.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen her in anything since Scrubs.
Was she not the one in the Butterfly Effect? The Ashton Kutcher terrible Like time travel, not time travel, but alt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
But you're right. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Rat Race, and she was American Pie.
Yeah. No. She was in Road Trip and Outside Providence.
Okay, you made that last one up.
No, I didn't. She's the girl. She's the girlfriend in Outside Providence.
I feel like I've probably seen her on Hallmark movies, and you know who's going to tell me for sure is Bowerfett. He is going to tweet at us about what Hallmark Lifetime movies she was in, because he always knows. Anyway, so Amy Smart, I'm glad she's getting work. This will be nice. We have more casting.
Okay.
Trey Romano has been cast as Courtney's overly charming stepbrother, Mike Dugan. Trey Romano is like 15, like the actor, so his IMDb references are not super long. We also have Cameron Gelman has been cast as an undisclosed role. He also is a little bit younger. It looks like he was in TV adaptations of Heathers, which off-air Ed had to remind me, no, that was a thing. It was on the Paramount Network. It actually happened, and I just completely blanked it out. And then a couple more undisclosed roles. Hunter Sansone from Unfollow is going to be in the show. And then the most exciting one for me, Neil Jackson has been cast. Neil Jackson is the British actor who played a delicious bad guy in the underloved, well-deserving TV series Blade. I'm a big fan of his charming British evilness in that show. And if he's going to be a bad guy, I hope he gets to have charming British evil in this too.
Blade. Also on the Paramount Network, Batman was called Spike.
No, it was Spike, and then it was something else for a while, wasn't it? Before it was Paramount? Or did something become Spike? I feel like it's been through some incarnations.
Well, it was, TNN became Spike.
Okay. And then became Paramount.
Became the Paramount Network.
Look, I thought Blade was a real fun TV show. I will stand for that. That's
Blade the series.
Yeah. Well, and the movies as well.
Yes.
I'm just, I guess you could say I'm a fan of Blade. Fair enough. Anyway, so just a bunch more casting on that. I love that you can kind of tell as these shows ramp up, you get a big dump of casting, and you can tell they're heavy into filming or getting ready to do that. We had that for Swamp Thing a little bit ago, and now it's Stargirl's turn. So that is the news. Ooh. That's what we got this week.
All right, which means now it's time for our winners for the week. I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I've got a little theme going on here, which is people not in control of their bodies. Supergirl, you had Menagerie sort of took over Pamela, the jewel thief, and was sort of occupying her. On Gotham, Alfred and was hypnotized, and at a certain point, seemed like Jeremiah had taken over half Gotham. And on Doom Patrol, Larry, poor Larry, just wanted to skip town, and whatever cosmic electrocuted guy kept shooting out and not allowing him to move. So that was people who are not in control of their bodies.
That's a good thing.
That was mm-hmm.
I'm going a little simpler, and I'm just going to go straight up Dreamer on Supergirl. We got to see her in costume. We got to see her in action. She's suited up. She's embracing destiny. She looks cool. She was effective. She wants to train. I am excited about the potential for Dreamer. I cheered when I saw her on screen. You go, girl.
There we go. All right. Cool. We finished our episode, Sarah.
We kept it under our allotted time. Go us.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody. That's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
And I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And you can follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam!
Shazam!